or so, and it's really my sound, but I've really been diving into it a whole lot more, and I'm going to show you how I get it step by step in a beat make. If you guys haven't seen me do this before, this is a completely blank template. No ideas down yet, but I'm going to be finishing this live stream up with a completely done, ready to rap on beats. So I hope you are all excited for that. I'm just going to open up my chat here so that I can see what you guys are saying. Oh, didn't mean for it to do that. Back to Logic. Hell yeah. God damn. I forgot to log into my chat, so I don't know why it's not logging me in. Alright. I guess I'm gonna have to deal without a chat for a minute. But that's cool. I just can't hear what any of you guys are saying, or see what any of you guys are saying. Log in, bitch. Oh, whatever. Shit happens. Alright, so let's get straight into it. First thing I want to do is get kind of like a lo-fi chill synth thing that's going to create the backing for the entire beat. So this is going to be pretty, I don't know, atmosy and chill. I'll check. See, that's not really the sound I want to go with. I want something I want a pad that's created from something a little bit more organic than that. So I'm going to go with an Arturia instrument. They tend to have, like, I don't know, really cool organic sounds, and I'm going to use a bunch of effects to kind of bring out the vibe of them. So let's bring in a Jupiter 8 here. A lot of this trap stuff has, and especially the trap soul stuff, has a really 80s vibe. So if you can get kind of 80s sounding synths, you can really bring in that that chill sound. Oh, let's check what the pads. Oh, let's go with some of the Jupiter 8. Alright, here we go. Alright, I like that. Alright, one thing, I like that, but I don't like how long the attack is coming into it. It's a little bit too... Sometimes it... That's better. Oh my god. Oh, alright, so it came in a little bit early on that note there. Oh, as well as all of this stuff I came in early on, so just going to bring that back. The rest of it's all good. You know what? It is a little bit low, so I'm going to bring it up an octave. Bring the bass line down an octave. So it's got a little bit more chill in it. Alright, that's cool. And now I'm going to lo-fi it up a little bit. So, favorite one for this, RC20. Great for adding all kinds of, wonderful. Like, listen to that already. That's just the preset there. I'm going to take out some of the low end here, up to like 200 hertz. I'm going to take out a lot of the high end. Distort it with that air. Oh. And we're going to throw in an Abbey Road plate in here. My favorite reverb for this kind of stuff. And with pads, pre-delay is your friend. Alright, so this is going to be running on a half time, so that means the snare is going to run on that 3 there. So that clap, that snare, both kind of tight, but I'm going to add a bunch of reverb to them to boost them out, but I like the sounds of them. Whoops. Had an extra sound in there somewhere. No, maybe not. Alright, Now we're gonna throw some of those. So one thing you got to worry about when you do these kind of things is that it automatically quantizes, so you have to go in and turn the strength off the actually I wanted those to be 32nd note triplets, so let's try that again. Something about a triplet in these like fast trap hats really has that vibe, even when it's too quick to tell. Alright, so there we go. That's done the same thing. Just got to go in, turn the strength off. Now this one here starts a little bit late, so and so is this one. So I'm just gonna clean these up slightly, but on the whole they're pretty good. Could add one more here and one more here. Finish a little bit too early on some of these. Not too bad overall though. I could have probably just drawn these in, but whatever. Alright, now let's add that reverb to the snare. And one other thing I want to do is double up this kick sound with something a little bit more raw. I love this kick sound. I feel like it's like in that perfect frequency for a kick drum. I use it on like almost every beat, but I always layer it with another sound that kind of gives the character. So this one, no character, it's just like that thud. It's going to get your sub pumping, and you layer that up with something a little bit more vibey and like that. And I'm going to turn that one down a bit. You know what would be cool with this is to put in with the snare is to put in a resonance filter. Resonator, is that it? And we'll go do this to the either the key of the song or the fifth. So the key is D, and we'll just see what octave. Don't want it too loud. So now, with that simple change, we've changed this snare sound, which is just a standard snare sound, into something a bit more interesting. It's got like a bit of like a digital artifacty kind of thing going on there, which I like. Cool. Now trying to think what to do with the bass. I don't know if I want to go 808s on this one or... What's that second chord? I think that'll end up being the bass line there. Let's record it and play around with the sound. You got the hold on there. And there was a little bit of a gap there, and a little bit of a gap there, and a little bit of a gap there. This is a mono instrument, so it doesn't matter if the notes hang over a little bit as long as they don't hang under a little bit. But I guess I could turn up the decay a little bit to get that change happening there. But it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to crank up the chorus on this. Oh, actually on that second one, I do want to put distortion on here, but I also want to play around with this thing. So I'm going to put Decapitator in here. I want to have it slide up. So see how that sounds. That's cool. Kind of adds a bit of difference to it. bells following the main vibe, the main chord progression there. And one thing I want to do with these, vibe them up a little bit more, is add Q flam, which pretty much just gives it that raking sound of that sound. It's a bit of extra snare in here. One other thing I wanted to do, because this is very left heavy, I'm going to push it even further to the left, and this trap hat here I'm going to push to the right, the that fast hat. Oh, don't know what I did there. All right, let's get ourselves a melody. Kind of want a bit of a West Coast lead thing going on here. So let's get that. And if you don't know how to do a West Coast lead, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to start with just a single sound here. We're going to turn off the cutoff frequency. We're pretty much going to reset everything to standard here. Like these are our 3 oscillators. I'm only going with one. We're going to go to a triangle wave. You can use, for the West Coast lead, you can use triangle. Sine wave is also good. It's really depending on what kind of sound you want. Cutoff frequency is off. Turn that filter and contour off. All that stuff off. You get this really simple sound there, but then you add some glide in here. And then you run that color frequency. Just to kind of get rid of some of that harshness at the top. And you can do whatever you want. Soft clipping there kind of adds a little bit more grit to it. Turn the attack time up to... And and the K time up a little bit too. That's kind of cool. Ah, that's something. This legato. This. That's the one. That's kind of cool. Let's double that up. Just changing up a little bit on the second one. Alright. Oh no, don't do that. Alright, let's add in a Abbey Road plate here. You know how we do. Cool. Alright, we got ourselves a bit of a beat going on here. So let's start arranging this thing into something kind of cool. So first thing I want to do is start with the now. Oops. I want to get rid of the bells on this like kind of chorusy part. I think for this one, I'll get rid of the extra bits and just have a straight hat rocking. This is kind of like for the verse. I don't want that bass. Instead, I want a 808, but a shorter one. Kind of rocking along with that kick drum. Just to add some low end, but it's not the same. Real vibe going on there. Gonna get rid of the claps on this one. Oh, maybe not. I really like that. Those 808s crank. For that pre-chorus, I'm just going to get rid of that last note there. So that it goes fact, just gonna drag that back here. Yeah, that's cool. Bit more of a gap. Alright, so now we're going to have the bass here. I want to run these drum kit here in a lo-fi vibe. So I'm just going to bounce out the verse there, and rename this lo-fi. And I'm trying to think of the best lo-fi I want to use for this one. I think, yeah, RC20, always a winner. We're going to go a little bit hectic on this one. And then back to the chorus. So like, now see here that where it goes from this one to the other one, and it has that swoop up of the mini. That's something that is like you'd call a mistake, and a lot of times you'd fix it. But it's little things like that which I feel it doesn't happen anywhere else in the song, because it doesn't happen like that anywhere else in the song. But when it happens on this time, it's kind of cool, and it's one of those little glitchy things that you're like, oh, what the fuck's going on there? Why is there that massive swoop up there? And because it's after a break as well, I think it's really cool. I'm gonna double this chorus. kind of cool. Lo-fi drums in the outro. Dig that. Alright, that's a song. Alright, let's go through and start arranging this thing into something pretty cool. First thing I want to do is throw a riser in, see if this riser works. It normally does. It's the NoisySauce riser. It does almost everything really well. So I can throw that in there, and the intro, see how that sounds. Check it on the pre-choruses. Actually, kind of like it without it. I'm gonna throw in the NoisySauce beat tag though. That is non-negotiable, because anyone who wants to steal this beat or have it for free even, they have to deal with my tag, and then they can buy it if they want to get rid of it. There we go. Litter that through a cool. Alright, let's go through and get rid of anything that's not being used. Any of these samples, piano basses, drums, damaged drums, tuned hats. Percussion, oh, can go. Look how clean that is. It is beautiful. Awesome. And let's do some master bus processing while we're here. So first thing I want to do is check my spectrum analyzer, make sure there's nothing sticking out. Nah, that's cool. Look at that. Highs are sitting about the same level as this. I feel like that lead might be a bit loud, it might get in the way of the vocals. You don't need much of a lead like that. One thing I want to do with the these tuned snares here is tremolo, which is actually acting as a panner, and I'm just going to set a really slow pan with a medium depth there. Just to add some interest to that snare. And as soon as you add some like movement to something like that, it tends to stick out more in the mix because your mind is drawn to it. So that means we can drop it a little bit lower in the mix, which is kind of cool because it means it takes up less space in the actual energy of the sound, which is just good mixing. So if something is moving, your mind is drawn to it more, therefore you can turn it down more. Just little tricks like that in mixing that means that you can have a louder or overall mix. Like the bass might be a bit loud. Cool. Pretty happy with that. Alright, I'm going to call this beat done. We're going to have a listen through to it, start to finish. I'll make any final changes that I want to make throughout the mix, and we're going to call it a day. If you want to buy this beat, it's going to be called Divinity. So, yeah, let's check it out. One thing I want to do is, instead of having this snare here, I'm going to run it into the lo-fi channel. I think that'll sound better. Yeah, it's better. Which is where we were. Opens it up more when you hit into the chorus. Now, although I like how it... I don't know if I like how it drops down on this one. Might have to bounce that one. Nah, I like it. Again, it's one of those glitches that kind of sounds cool. Perfect. Alright, that is a done beat. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate having you on here, and I will catch you all